I am Bethan and today we're going to be doing some jobs in the garden. So I'm going to start off with planting out some parsnips. So I'll show you what the seed is looking like that I put to chit a few weeks ago. There are two varieties of parsnips. One is white gem, which has had a very good germination all together really, and the other one was a sabre, which was a free variety I had when I bought some seed off, I think it was DT Brown, and this is an F1 and it's had very good germination, and you can probably see that it is ready to go in the ground. I probably should have put these in the ground about a week ago really, but we'll put them in now and see how they get on. Well, I've been umming and ahhing about the best way to sow these for quite some time. I was originally going to interplant them with leeks, so I would have a row of parsnip, a row of leeks, a row of parsnip, a row of leeks. And then I thought, well, maybe I just had a feeling that that might not be the best way, so I'm just going to go for a straight bed of parsnip seeds, but I'm going to interplant them with radish, so I'm not completely wasting the space as it was, because these take so long to germinate, not to germinate but to grow. They have such a long growing season that I kind of want to make as much use of the space as I can. So I've got some multi-sown radish here, and I will just put them in the middle of the drills, and hopefully that will be alright. The radish should be gone by the time the parsnip, you know, gets a bit bigger. So that's what I've decided to do after all this umming and ahhing. So let's get on and get the parsnips and the radish in. So this is a bit more fiddly than I wanted it to be. However, what I will do is, because quite a lot of them have germinated, I've kind of marked some stations which you might not be able to see, but I'm going to put 2 per hole. So one there, one station there, and then 2 parsnips per hole, and I shall take out the weaker one, or one that didn't grow, because when I did this method last year, because I had really bad trouble getting things to germinate at this point because the weather was so different last year, even when I chitted the parsnips and put them into their place, not all of them grew, so I had big gaps. So I thought, well, this year I'll put 2 chitted parsnips per station, and then I've got a good chance of having each station filled. These beds are filled with, I think it's half fresh compost and half last year's used compost, and at the bottom is 6x chicken manure, and that's so that when the roots are looking for food, they'll find something down the bottom of the bed. But I don't think I'm going to have this as a designated parsnip and carrot area every year. We'll see how the parsnips go this year doing this method, and then I'll decide whether I'll just sow straight into the ground next year or not. So I've got the 2 lines of the parsnips in anyway, and I'm going to put some of this beetroot in now. So I'm going to put it kind of in the middle of where the parsnip lines are. So I'm going to get on with doing the rest of this now, and I'll show you what it's looking like when I'm done, because I don't want to show you, you know, the whole bed. It would be a bit tedious, and we've always got so much more to go and look at, haven't we? So yes, I shall get on with doing this, and then we'll find another job to do. That's all the multi-sown radish in now, and I've just got beetroot left in that tray there. And the other bed down here, you can't see anything whatsoever here, but I have interplanted radish in each line here, which I've just sown direct, so that should have successional sowing up to here now. So if in a few weeks time I want to do some more radish, I kind of know where I'm going to. Oh, and I just got a little small pot of bloodfish and bone, because where the radishes were planted I just put some bloodfish or bone in those holes there. I'm glad to have got that job done, and I'm going to go in and have some lunch now, and then we'll find another job to do for this afternoon. The next job I'm going to get on with, as it starts to rain, are planting these artichokes, these sunchokes. I started them off in these small tubs because I wasn't sure what big tubs I was going to use, and I've decided on a collection of various different tubs, and I'll show you the root system is growing on that one. So I'll take you off the tripod now, and I'll show you around and show you what I'm going to do. Here are two of the pots I'm going to use. I think they hold about 15 litres to 20 litres each. Then there's 3 of the artichokes that I grew. The other one I just put in this pot here, and I kind of put it in about 2/3 of the way up with multi-purpose peat-free compost mixed with some perlite and some bloodfish and bone and a little bit of chicken manure pellets for slow release. And I've done the same with this tub here, and I've put these black compost sacks in because I read somewhere that the see-through plastic can upset the roots of plants. They don't like it, so I've just put the compost sack in there just so they're not exposed to the light. And I've already, as I said, put this one in. So what I'm going to do is I've got my compost mix here, and I'm just going to fill up to the, sort of the top really of the compost, of the pot. No, I can't do this one-handed. I've just filled that up now to about 1 inch from the top, and I needed both hands so that I could turn the paper over so you didn't see the orange that was there, because I just thought that would look nicer through the growing season. So I'm going to get on with doing the other tubs, and I'll bring you back when it's done, if it's not raining pouring. Here's the 4 pots all ready to go now. That's them for the whole of the growing season. So I'll just talk you through why I'm growing these in pots, as lots of people say they're better off in the ground. There's a couple of reasons why I've chosen to grow them in pots. The first one is that they spread out quite a lot, and I don't really have any beds that I can allow them to do that with. All my beds are, well, they're no dig for a start, so I don't want to go hunting through all the compost to try and find, all the sunchokes to pull them out. Artichokes, sunchokes, they're the same interchangeable name really. And another reason is because my garden is hard landscaped at the front and a bit at the back, I kind of want to grow a lot of my edibles in pots and have them to look nice. So instead of having loads of flowers, I want my vegetables to fulfill that. So I'm going to be doing a fair few companion planting in pots this year. So for instance, I've got butternut squash that grow specifically in a pot, and I'm going to plant that up with some tomatoes, and I think that will give a good it will look nice as it grows. And the same with the artichokes. The artichokes are a member of the sunflower family, so they have really nice flowers at the end of the season, and they grow quite tall as well. So I thought if I grew them in pots, then when they grow tall, it will give my garden height, and also then around the bottom of that pot I can grow in smaller pots, whatever edibles I want to grow, and maybe some ornamental flowers as well, because there is a place for them as well. They do look pretty, all these different colours in the garden. So was that my reasoning? Was that all of them, to look nice so they don't spread? Yep, I think that was the reason why. So let's go find something else to do now. Well, the poxy rain has stopped play all morning. It has stopped very briefly now, but it's a bit wet to do anything out there. So I've come inside and I've changed around my conservatory a bit, and I thought I'd show you what I've been up to this morning to keep myself out of mischief when the rain's been happening. I've moved the grow unit to the other side now, and actually in the grow unit is now my pots. So they're all ready to use in there now, and I just find it a bit easier to keep on top of things because I don't need the grow light at this moment. And the other day I planted up some ochre, and in here I've got nasturtiums, antirrhinum and calendula. Again, I only sowed them the day before yesterday, so there's nothing there at the moment. This morning I also sowed these peas. These are alderman peas. I was hoping to sow these straight into the ground, but well, it's raining pouring, so I thought, oh well, I'll pop them in here and they can grow in my greenhouse for a bit and then go into the ground. And while we're here, I have the tiniest little cucumber on this plant, so hopefully it's going to start cropping well soon. And the peppers you'll have seen in my last update. And then if I come around here, so this is where my grow unit was, the cabinet, and I've just, what else have I done? Oh, these are my potatoes that are still left to go in. These are some Swede seedlings, well not seedlings, seeds that I sowed this morning. Then I sowed some New Zealand sugar pie squash, some melon, which I had through the post from Richard from the Veg Grow podcast, as I'm a supporting member of his. And I also had some pumpkin rouge vive de tombes, which I've never grown before, and my crown prince hasn't grown, so it will be good to have that growing in its place. And also over here are some more peas. These ones are sugar snap peas and those ones are sugar prince pea. And I've sown some more parsnip, or chitted, put some more parsnip to chit, which I'll grow in my neighbour's garden. I've put some more sweet corn to chit because I had them through the post off Richard. And then I also had, these runner beans are Lady Di runner beans, and I had some, these are Polestar, these are the ones I sowed the other day, and 4 or 5 of them have started to germinate, so that's good. I'm now going to show you what I'm going to do for the rest of the afternoon, which will be potting on some of the various things I've got growing. So I'll show you now. I've got some flowers and herbs along here that need potting on. My zinnias, well, they're okay for the time being because they're in fairly largish, well, not largish pots, but they'll be all right for a bit longer. My cosmos is doing well, but that'll be all right in there for a bit longer as well. Those are doing okay, but my sunflowers are what I need to pot on because they're in these smallish trays, and although these are dwarf sunflowers, they still will need a bigger pot for their growing, and the same with these ones. These have grown quite big. These are the chocolate cherry ones. So I didn't expect them to grow that big so soon. And then I've got, this is tarragon, coriander, parsley, and dill. My favourite is dill, really. No, I don't mean that. Don't all bolt. I like you all equally. Of course I do. I'll have my herbs revolting on me now. They'll all go to seed just to spite me. And the dill as well, I expect. But anyway, hopefully they didn't hear me saying that. That's it from me for today. I shall enjoy my afternoon of potting on. And you'll probably see them when I do the plot tour at the end of May. So hopefully tomorrow the weather will be better and we can get outside and do a bit more in the garden, because my seedlings are growing nice and I'm potting them on, and they're all going well, but I have loads of preparation I need to do outside for where all these seedlings are going to go. So yes, let's hope the weather stays good tomorrow and I can get cracking with some jobs. All I can say about my work today and yesterday is lovely job.